Hi, my name's John Cracknell and I'm the Managing Director of IBIS Integrated Bindery Systems. It's my pleasure today to be guiding you through this presentation case study for the Inkjet Seminar 2020. So we're going to start this presentation today with a brief introduction to the IBIS company and the IBIS Smart Binder Digital Saddle Stitcher. After that, we'll move on to the main body of the presentation, which is the case study material that we have for you that relates to new solutions for inkjet mailing. And lastly, we will just finish up with a few words about the Smart Binder USPs and what it's like to be working with the IBIS organization. So the IBIS company was formed 21 years ago by a group of engineers that had gained a lot of experience in saddle stitching and perfect binding, working for AM, Harris and Heidelberg. Then in 2004 we introduced the new IBIS Smart Binder system, and since then we have supplied 177 of these Smart Binder systems to our customers all around the world. And a few years ago we set up our new relationship and partnership with Best Graphics in Milwaukee, USA. The IBIS company is based near London in the UK, and apart from Best Graphics, our main relationships are with the individual printer vendors, many of who've bought the IBIS Smart Binder and are running it in line with their printers. Also our friends at TechNow, who provide the web cutter solution. And lastly, a new relationship with Bell & Howell for the provision of mailing solutions with their producer inserter, which of course is a focus of today's presentation. Okay, as you can see from this, we've installed 177 smart binders at locations around the world. About 25% of these are running directly in line with digital web printers. About 40% are running nearline from a roll-on winder and web cutter, and the remaining machines are offline machines running from sheet pile feeders. So our mission at IBIS is to produce the highest quality products which continue to delight our customers so that they come back to us again in future when they have further requirements. And our values are openness, integrity, technical excellence, and a commitment to our customers' success. The main features of the Smart Binder system are, as you can see here, firstly, our ability to vary page content on the run, which is critical, of course, to all digital print applications. Secondly, to produce booklets with 100% integrity. By that we mean that all the pages are in the correct place and in the correct sequence, and any bad booklets are rejected. High speed, we can run up to 180 meters a minute, which is close to 600 feet per minute web speed, and we can produce booklets at 7,000 booklets per hour, or 14,000 booklets per hour with the trimmer center knife. A large range of booklet format sizes and a number of different binding options, including our unique patented IBIS cold glue binding system as a replacement for saddle stitching, and we can also offer perfect binding solutions. This shows the Smart Binder system with the sheet input at one end and finished booklets at the other end. And the main modules, which comprise the infeed with the optional cover feeder, the plough folding system for both covers and sheets, the optional glue system, plus the sheet collector, followed by the wire stitching system and the 3-knife trimmer with an automatic booklet reject for bad books. The inline version Smart Binder is fed directly from a high-speed digital web printer, normally via a web buffer, and then of course the TechNow web cutter with the optional TechNow sheet stacking system, and then directly into the IBIS Smart Binder to produce the finished booklets. Okay, so this slide shows the nearline system, which we find is our most common configuration. And here it is fed from a roll-on winder and a web cutter. Lastly, this shows the offline smart binder fed from the high pile sheet feeder. Okay, we're going to move on now to the main body of this presentation, which are the case studies relating to new IBIS solutions for direct mailing. Broadridge were the first of our customers to install a few years ago an IBIS solution together with the inline Bell & Howell producer inserter system. In this case, the sheets are fed from a sheet pile feeder and produce 8.5 by 11 booklets, which flow directly into the inserter for inserts and to go into the envelope. Here we can see a floor plan of the actual system installed at Broadridge with the smart binder on the left side, delivering 8.5 by 11 booklets into the inline producer inserter via a booklet auto reject, and then delivering the finished mail pieces on the right hand side of this drawing. The next installation we're going to look at is at Fiserv. This customer had a requirement to produce 5.5 by 8.5 booklets, and they wanted to do this from a wide web, but the traditional solution of rotating and folding large sheets before they enter the smart binder was not acceptable because they could not accept the resulting 8-page increments. So IBIS developed a unique new system to allow us to produce 5.5 by 8.5 booklets from an 18-inch wide web in 4-page increments. This required us to develop 3 brand new modules, which collectively we refer to as the TU-SDC modules. And these are installed in between the TechNow web cutter and the IBIS smart binder. The first module separates the 2 sheets. They need to have some distance between them. The second module adjusts their speed, and the third module changes the direction of the 2 sheets by 90 degrees so that they can then enter the smart binder. This shows an actual photograph of the TU-SDC modules that were actually supplied to Fiserv. And here is a floor plan of the Fiserv system. As you can see, this forms a U-shape in this configuration because of the sheet direction change. And it's worth noting too that in this case, it does not have the producer inserter on the end, but of course that could be fitted in future. So the result of this new development is that IBIS can now offer 2 different solutions for producing 5.5 by 8.5 booklets from a wide 18-inch web. And the advantages of the new TUSD system are that it can produce those booklets in 4-page increments instead of 8 pages. And there are 2 other benefits. By not folding the sheets before they enter the smart binder, that helps us to use our ISG cold glue binding system, and also helps us to produce very thick booklets because it avoids the extra bulk of the head folds. However, there is one small disadvantage of the new TUSD system in that it is limited to a web speed of around 65 meters a minute, whereas the rotator folder allows us to go up to something around 90 to 100 meters a minute. Here is a video of the Fiserv TU-SDC system showing sheets flowing from the web cutter through the sheet separator and then through the direction change and into the IBIS smart binder. The final case study relates to two systems that have been purchased from us for installation at a US customer site next month. And these combine together all the features we've already discussed, such as the TU-SDC modules to create the small booklets from a wide web by direction change, and also the BH producer inserter, in line, of course, with the IBIS Smart Binder. They also include, this installation also includes the 097 sheet pile feeder from IBIS, which allows piles of sheets to be fed offline, as well as transporting sheets from the web cutter when running in line from the roll. Here is a floor plan of the new systems. Starting at the top, we have the roll unwinder and the Technow web cutter, and then flowing anti-clockwise through the direction changer, and then down through the SP097 feeder into the IBIS Smart Binder, which creates the 5.5 by 8.5 booklets that then flow directly into the BH producer inserter, where firstly some matching cards are added using the rotary feeders, and then finally everything is put into the envelope. Both these installations include the SP097 sheet pile feeder that you can see here. This feeder is unique in that it can either feed sheets from the pile offline, or it can be very quickly converted to run sheets straight through the feeder from the roll. Both these systems include the optional cover feeder, which can feed a cover on the outside of each booklet. The cover feeder is fitted with an automatic loader, which greatly increases the height of the cover pile and therefore, of course, reduces the time between cover reloads. To round up this presentation, we'd like to summarise for you some of the main Smart Binder USPs and show you what some of the options are that are available for this system. Many of our customers purchase the Smart Binder system because of its unique ability to be able to make ISG cold glue bound booklets as a replacement for traditional wire stitched booklets. This patented feature was developed by IBIS when the Smart Binder was first launched back in 2004, and a good proportion of the machines include this binding option, which applies dots of cold glue along the spine fold and then presses the sheets together to produce a very crisp, strong, finished bookbind. One of the many advantages of the ISG glue binding process is that the booklets sit much flatter with much less gape in the centre. As you can see from this photo, the book on the left has been ISG glue bound and the identical book on the right has been wire stitched. You could see the larger gape in the stitched booklet. Another Smart Binder advantage is that it folds each sheet individually, compared with other booklet makers which collect sheets together and then fold them as sets. Obviously, individual folding produces a tighter, crisper fold than folding in groups. In this photo, you can see on the left how tightly folded the booklet is that is made by the Smart Binder compared to the booklet on the right produced by competitive booklet makers. The Smart Binder trimmer was the first in the world to be able to process variable pagination, variable thickness booklets ranging from a minimum of just one folded sheet up to a maximum of 10 millimeters on the run without any adjustment. Another key USP of the IBIS Smart Binder is its ability to track every sheet and every booklet right through the system, and to keep a log file of the status of each booklet, and to guarantee that any booklets that are incorrectly assembled are automatically rejected so that only good booklets are delivered. Here we can see the detection systems that are installed inside the Smart Binder, and also it gives an indication of the codes that are read on each sheet and the data within those codes. Combination of three features: firstly the code reading and tracking systems, plus the ISG cold glue system that allows varying book thickness, And lastly, the trimmer, which of course allows also a variable book thickness, lends itself to the unique ability of the Smart Binder to constantly vary number of pages from minimum to maximum on the run. The last feature we're going to refer to today is the Smart Binder speed. We can run at 130 meters per minute in normal configuration, and this can be increased to 180 meters a minute with the addition of the buckle folder if required, and an output speed of 7,000 booklets per hour maximum, or 14,000 if running in 2-up mode with the trimmer center knife, making smaller booklets. Over the last 16 years since the Smart Binder was introduced, we have of course developed a large range of options for the machine, which you can see listed here. Lastly, just a few words about what you can expect when working together with IBIS and Best Graphics. Firstly, we will always be open with you and respond with integrity and respond promptly as well. We will treat any information you give us confidentially, and we will only sell to you if we are confident that we can meet your requirements. We are prepared to customize our systems and to come up with new solutions to meet your requirements, and we will always test these solutions before we ship to you, and of course we will work with you after installation to ensure your continued success. So that concludes our presentation for today from me, John Cracknell, and I hope very much that you found it interesting and informative, and look forward very much to hearing from you if you think we can be of assistance.